Alright, I'm making a video playing Heads Up 2550. This guy loves to hit and run. He's always playing short sessions, so I don't know how long this session against this guy is going to be. If he'd won that hand outright, he might have just quit. So we'll see how much action there is. Hopefully I can get him stuck and then he'll stay and play for a while. Otherwise, this is just going to be a short session for sure. So, heads up. I'm going to play pretty loose against this guy, I think. It doesn't really bother me that he might hit and run. That's like a risk I'm willing to accept. I'm not going to change my strategy just to try to get him to just stay behind. If he wins a big hand and quits, that's okay, because he'll play me tomorrow. It's just one big, long session. Also, I'm eating while I'm playing. I finished another session that was over 2 hours, and I didn't eat while I was playing that session, so gotta eat now. This isn't a great flop for my hand, but take it down. Yeah, this player is kind of annoying to play against because of his hit and run strategies. I've asked him in the chat before, why he does that, and if he would not do it, if he would play longer sessions with me. We play every day. Probably play this guy 4 or 5 days a week. But he just ignores me or denies that he actually hits and run when he's obviously one of the worst guys I've ever seen for the consistency of his hit and run. And his strategy is he actually... I find that he gambles quite a bit when he first starts playing, and then if he builds up a stack, he tightens up, and then he basically always quits. As soon as, like, if he gets his stack up to, like, 3,000, and then he loses one hand, it's even just, like, 500 or 600, he'll just quit. So he plays pretty loose to start, I find, and pretty aggressive, and then if he gets a stack, he'll play a little bit more conservatively, and then if he loses, that's when he quits. Well, deuce 3 is a better low. So my deuce 5 is probably the good low draw right now, but I only have one pair. I don't really have a high draw, but stack is this. The stack to pot ratio is so big already. I think I'm just going to get it in here. Nice. Made the wheel, so I'll stack them. That was pretty fortunate for me. He had a heart draw and an ace, but oh, he had 2 pair, so I was drawing pretty slim. Needed a 7 or a 4 for the high or the wheel there. But that's good. Now that he's stuck, maybe he won't quit so quickly. So this is a good flop. Just going to check raise all in here. I have a bad flush draw, but I got trip 4s and probably the best low draw. He could have ace deuce, but yeah, he's got ace deuce. Oh, and he has a 4. That's not good. Ah, he got lucky, but oh, the card that, oh, he quartered me though. He had ace deuce 3. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well, at least I didn't get scooped. My low could be good here, but I don't have a high hand, so I'm not going to put in a bunch of money. He's still checking, so now I'm thinking my low is good, but... Oh, I hit a miracle card on the river, that's alright. Hopefully he'll fire here. Yeah, he's making a bet. It's probably a bluff, but I can repot here. I'll do a little less than pot, and hopefully he's calling with, you know, 7 deuce or 10-7. Okay, that's okay. I'm pretty happy with the way that hand went out. I think, you know, you got him to bluff that river. And I definitely had the best low there, because he's calling for sure if he had a better low than me. This guy doesn't care about getting quartered. He's always putting his money when he has a low. Which, you know, probably works pretty well when you're short stacked like we are, but once we get deeper, maybe that's why he quits, because it doesn't work when you're really deep to play for half or for a quarter of the pot. You're going to get screwed a lot. This hand doesn't really play very well against a re-raise. Huh. This is interesting. Blocking the king jack, and I do have the nut diamond draw, so I'm going to bet here knowing that he can't have the nut diamond draw, but he can definitely have king jack, so I better fold. Well, I like this flop from my hand. Still don't really have, I have lots of draws. I don't even have a pair. I have pair 7, so I would have liked to have seen him fold, but we'll get it in here with the straight draw, and I have the best low with deuce 3, the best low draw, so unfortunately I missed the straight. Oh, he had top set, but I made my low, so I got half the pot. And I had a really good chance to scoop him. Lots of outs there with that straight draw for the scoop. I'm really having trouble flopping anything other than bottom pair. Oh, that's a nice card. So now I've got the third nut low and the second nut straight, so just gonna pot it here. Don't want to see any more hearts. Uh-oh, possible that we're being scooped or quartered here, but we'll see where he's at. He doesn't even have a high, so he took a big risk there, but like I said, he doesn't care about playing for half. He had no outs to make the high, so he just jammed his money because he had a low. This is a pretty bad hand, but when he limps in, I know he's got next to nothing, so. Okay, so here I flopped the third nut flush, and I'm blocking the straight flush, or the straight flush draw, so that's okay. But there's no low draw possible, so I think it's okay just to check here and give him a free card. If it, you know, if the turn comes a king or a 8, you know, that's pretty bad, but okay, now there's a low draw, and that 3 hurts me. Now my low draw is a deuce 5, so I am going to bet the pot here. He'll call, I think, when he has ace deuce or ace 4. And I just don't want to give him half the pot for free, so I could have bet less than pot there, but I think there's lots of hands that he's calling with, so that I'm ahead of. It's not really the low that you want, but I'm going to fire at this and just kind of see where I'm at. He might lay down if he doesn't have a good low. Really, you want to have ace deuce or ace 4 to call down on that board. This hand's not anything special. Ooh, this is... I don't love this, because any queen is 50-50 against me if he doesn't already have queen 4. There's not going to be a low, so he either has a queen or he doesn't. I'm just going to check here. I don't want to get raised off my hand. Oh, that's not a good river. So now my full house is now queens over 7s, and any pocket pair over 7s beats me. So I took that down. I think I played that okay. You know, I can catch some bluffs on the turn or the river, and I don't know if I'm betting if he's calling on that turn when there's no low draws out there. He obviously didn't have a queen, so this is kind of interesting. I have the nut low draw with my deuce 3, and the 4 means I can't get really counterfeited. I do have a flush draw, though it's pretty bad, and just a pair of 9s. So I think a lot of players raise here, but I'm just going to call and look for some good turns. So now I'm definitely not folding. Oh, I made a straight too, so I wasn't going to fold anyway with the deuce 3. My straight might be good, and I should be getting half the pot here, so let's see what happens. So he also has deuce 3 with the better straight, so it's my turn to get quartered. That's too bad. And my clubs were live too, so... And I think that hand kind of played itself. I think I could 3-bet sometimes with this hand, but I'll just call and take a look at a flop. Great flop for my hand, and I'm not worried really about any turns, so I'm happy to just to check that. And what I mean is, you know, the ace doesn't give him a bigger full house than me because I've got the ace. There's not going to be any low. So hopefully I've got the best hand here. Hopefully he doesn't have pocket kings. Nope, he had a worse 10 and put all his money in. Or all my money in anyway. Here's a pretty bad hand, but just going to try to get him to fold pre-flop. If he 3-bets me, I think I have to fold this. But I don't only want to be raising ace deuce and ace 3 pre-flop, so... This is a pretty risky hand. There's a lot of better low draws, there's a lot of diamond draws. But just because the stacks are so small, I don't need to bet pot. I'm going to bet a little less than pot, and if I get a safe turn, I'll put him in on the turn. But that middle set's not really great if you don't have a good low draw, or maybe a backup diamond draw to go with it, or some kind of straight draw. You might not even be 50% in your equity if you're up against a diamond draw and a low draw. Because it's pretty hard if he's got like a straight draw and a low draw for 2 more cards to come that don't either make his straight or the low, right? He's going to hit a Broadway card that can make a straight, or he's going to hit a card that makes a low, so... the only card that could come that doesn't make a straight, that doesn't make a low, is a 9. Any other card either is going to put a low on the board or make a straight, except, of course, the board pairing. Okay, so this hand, I've just got a pair of 7s, but I got the nut low draw, and the stack to pot ratio is so big already that I think I'm just going to go with it here. I'm sure I'm behind. Well, I was hoping I wasn't that far behind, but yeah, that wasn't good. So I was confident I was behind there, but I think in that case I didn't. But in general, I think in that spot you have enough equity to see the turn in the river. Might just have to check call here. Well, he's going to let me see the river for free, so pretty confident my hand is good here, but I'm not going to bet it for value. I don't know what he would be calling me with. Yeah, he rivered. Well, we were chopping anyway, and then he rivered that 4, but that's okay. Pot was small. This hand's not great. Suited ace, ace 4, 6, but gotta raise something pre-flop heads up. Gonna pot him when he limps in. I don't think he has ace deuce or ace 3, but I'm blocking ace 3, so I kind of like my low hand. I don't like that flop though. I'm gonna check this actually. Nah, I'm gonna bet. He showed a lot of weakness, so I think he's gonna fold a lot of the time here. Yep. I think I bet that flop a lot of the time, but it's not 100% of the time here. This hand's pretty bad. Maybe I can limp in with it. I haven't really been limping. This session at 20 minutes is already in the top quartile, I think, for length of sessions I've played with this guy. He loves to quit. He loves to just win one buy-in and quit, which of course isn't a winning strategy in the long run, but okay. Oh, this is a hand to 3-bet sometimes, but against this guy I don't need to. I want to pick my spots with this guy. Ugh. Am I gonna peel one with this hand? I think sometimes he has aces. I think sometimes he has a queen here. I mean, he might also have ace deuce. I really don't want to call if he has aces and ace deuce or a queen and ace deuce. So I'm gonna give it up. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think he has ace deuce because he didn't re-raise me, so I'm going to take a look at one. I don't have a draw for the high. No, that didn't work out. I feel like I need to 3-bet him sometimes. Maybe I guess I'm going to start with this hand. And that's a great flop. And I'm just going to bet 1/3 of the pot. He knows what that means, but what else is he going to do? Yeah, and I'm going to quarter him. That's great. That's really unfortunate. I had him nicely quartered, and then that deuce comes on the river that saves him. I don't think he had any way to scoop me. No, he had no other outs. That's really unfortunate that he needed to hit that. Deuce is the only way that he doesn't get quartered. And he hit it. But that's poker, folks. Gonna bet less than pot here. If he doesn't have queen, it's pretty hard for him to continue. Well, he potted it. He's risking a lot. If it's a bluff, I'm gonna give it to him. Obviously not gonna get involved there. Just a pair of eights. Further involved, I should say. Well, we're getting to dangerous territory where he might start thinking about quitting. Too bad we didn't quarter him in that earlier one. That would have kept him around for at least another buy-in, but he's going to think about quitting soon. I don't think he's up. He might be up a little bit after the rake. I think I've got to bet this because I don't have a low draw and my hand can't really improve. Don't really feel like bluff cashing there. Not really connecting on that flop. A couple possibilities, some backdoor stuff, but just c-betting, just to do it. This is definitely a hand to 3-bet with. When he limps in, if he doesn't have ace-deuce, ace-3-4-5 is a monster for a low draw. Somehow just whiffing on pairs and straights, but I think my low draw is the best, and it's possible that a 4-high flush can win this, so I bet he's raising me. I'm definitely going to see this river. Well, I have the best low draw, and I completely missed it. He flopped a straight with the better flush draw. That's really too bad. I had about a 70-some% chance to make my low, but it didn't come. It's at 30%. Doesn't get there. Oh, and now that he's up a buy-in, he's either going to quit now or he'll quit next time he wins a big hand, is what he usually does. So here I've got a gut shot, a backdoor flush draw, a pair, and a nut low draw. So pretty standard, just fire on that board. Pretty happy when he folds though, because my hand wasn't there yet. Yep, well now he's up over a buy-in on me. I've lost 2 buy-ins at least, yeah. And I'm not disappointed at all in my play. I feel like I had a couple chances to scoop him. And some almost guaranteed quarters that he squeezed out of. So, just don't have the variance yet. Maybe he'll stick around and give me a chance to get some of it back. Wow, just really missing all of these boards. Yeah, can't go all in with the gut shot, so gotta let it go. Yeah, this session I'd say I've had some really good hands before the flop and just not getting cooperative flops. I don't like this hand at all, but I guess if I can see a flop for free, didn't connect in any way with that flop. No, just terrible. Well, maybe my 5-6 is the best low. Can't call. I am gonna bet a little bit here just because of the flush draw. I don't want to give him any free spades. And I think by betting 1/3 of the pot there, or I guess I bet about 40% of the pot. You know, I think there's some other boards where I can bet 40% of the pot when I don't have it. Oh, wow. That deuce really screwed up my hand. I went from having such a good low potential. Now my low is ace-7. And I have the flush draw and I have the straight draw, but I've only got 1 pair. And he's probably already got half the pot locked up if he can beat a 7 for the low. So I'm really chasing for half the pot. Too bad. Everything on that board was right. The colors. But that deuce screwed up my low. Trying not to let the fact that he's liable to hit and run on me to change the way that I play, you know, not trying to gamble with him anymore, even though, oh, that's a good flop. Yeah, I think I can check because I've got the ace-4 for the low. I wouldn't want to give up any free low cards. Oh, that's the worst possible low card. So now my low is a 4-6, but my ace-deuce is probably the good high. If he's got pocket eights, you know, he's going to put all the money in, and I'm not folding at this point, so time to start betting. It's possible that my 4-6 is good for a low. I guess maybe in that case it was, because I think if he had a 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, I think he's going to stick around, so 4-5. But I think checking that flop is okay because my low was already pretty good. So I have a bad flush here, or bad flush draw. But just gonna bet here, and hopefully he folds if he doesn't have a queen. And he's check raised and potted a couple times on those paired boards. He's got to be bluffing some of those, but I don't have a hand to call down with. Of course, I'm not balanced in those spots. I don't think he would pick up on the fact that when the board is paired, I'm only betting when I have it if there's two low cards on board. I don't think he's going to have paid attention to that, but if someone was playing an exploitive strategy, that would be something I guess they could take advantage of. Here's double suited aces, ace four. It's not ideal, but it's better than most, so gonna raise pre-flop. Keep getting screwed on my lows. That four comes, that really hurts my low. I think I just gotta go with it. I have bottom two, ace six for the low. I think it's just, I mean, I hate that board for that hand, but I think with the stacks in the pot the way it is, I think it's just too weak to check fold, so I might as well bet and try to get him off of whatever equity he has. And when I just have bottom two, I'm sure he has some equity. But again, on that board, he has to, when I raise pre-flop, he has to be worried that I have ace deuce or ace three, so it's hard for him to keep going. Or it should be. If there's a chance the low is already completely locked up. I have a high only hand and I got three low cards, so just check fold, give up here. This might be the part of the session where he locks down a little bit. Just total, complete whiffs. Well, now I have an 8 high flush, so there's not going to be a low this hand. Oh, there's a chance my 8 high flush is good. I don't know if he can call me with anything worse than an 8 high flush, so I'll just check and maybe catch a bluff if he wants to bet. Nope, but I should be good here. So many flops with paired boards and 3 of a suit. I don't think that works very well for my strategy. Okay, we got an ace deuce 3, so definitely going to see this flop. Oh, he limps in, so I'll pot him here. 4 diamonds isn't ideal, of course, but not a great flop. Only have the 1 pair, but he's going to know that I've got an ace deuce in my hand or some good low, and he doesn't want to continue that. I'm very happy that he folded. My pair is pair 10, so didn't have a lot of equity there for the high, so very relieved to not see a turn and river on that board and just take down what's in the middle. Well, the good news is that he's not quitting, that he's staying. Makes for a better video. The bad news is he's staying because he's winning, or because I haven't won a pot yet that'll get him to leave, so. And I still think as soon as I win a big pot, over $1,000, he's gonna quit. Here's a bad hand, but I just want to be raising some stuff before the flop. And a bad flop. Really terrible. Can't even think about continuing. Six suited is not good. Just fold that one. This is a high only hand. It's not very good, but just to mix it up. Gonna raise this. I'm at full pot because I'd be really happy if he folded. That's a good outcome for this high only hand. Don't like these cards, not 10, 9, 9, 8. I think those are the worst cards in high-low. These middle cards, 9, 9, 8. They don't help you. They make bad pairs, bad sets, bad two pairs. If you make a straight, there's either going to be a low possible, or there's going to be bigger straights possible. So that's something you really got to worry about in 6 card. Keep flopping bottom pair. When I'm trying to hit some kind of low, I keep getting the bottom pair. Doesn't help my draws. Not a good hand. Wow, this guy must really feel like he's got my number. And I don't even... I think there's only the one hand where he had... There's only one hand I really feel like I misplayed. No, that's not a good flop. Terrible flop, because even if the 7 comes to give me a straight, that means that there's going to be a low possible, and then I'm only playing for half the pot, chasing a gut shot for half the pot, so... Wow, this hand is so bad. Well, at least we were blocking pocket 8s, or 6-8, I guess. Of course, I don't think he's folding any 6, so... It would be great to get some kind of momentum. Well, at least now I have the nut flush draw, but my low draw is 3-7. Oh, is someone else joining? I think that's good news, although this makes it more likely that this player quits. But the more the merrier. I would love to have this game going regularly, and this club I'm playing in doesn't run very often. I mean, it runs every day, but I have to open sit for hours to get people to sit and play with me. This player I don't know at all. The new player. This site has a feature where when you drop below your original buy-in, it'll automatically top you up, which most players use. These players, neither of these two players uses that feature. Wow, he went all in just with a crummy low draw and a crummy flush draw. Oh, and now that player is hitting and running. Oh, did he even get even, though? He only split that pot. Oh, that was weird. I guess he wasn't happy with that outcome. It's kind of funny when the players don't use the top-up feature, because the game's already capped at a 20 big blind buy-in. So if you don't top up, you're often playing with 15 big blinds, 10 big blinds. So that's kind of funny. Oh, I have a set. Can you check the flop? He might be stealing there, but I'm going to give it up. Because I have bottom set. I think if I had a set of jacks, I'd be more tempted to get in there. And the ace-10, of course, means I have queen for an out. Of course, I'm thinking about calling because I'm not sure that he has a straight. Not because I want to chase really bad, but having a little bit more backup would have been encouraging. Oh, that's it. He's done. Well, it's a frustrating session for me, but hopefully that was somewhat interesting as a video.